HojuKimchi episode 10? Oh, yeah, less light is better, hey boss? No. Yeah, so welcome to episode 10, and we have our second guest today, Fat
Hello,
John.
hello.
Australian Kimchi, Fat John,
Fat John's
aka the
been
DJ.
he's been mentioned multiple times, and he's finally decided to come on the show. Welcome on board, Fat.
Thank you for having me. I'm first time ever doing some sort of podcast sort of thing, so it's gonna be very, very awkward at first, but we'll get into it.
Yeah.
As the audio can see, like super fat, very fat lad, this guy.
Yeah, I think the camera has a bit of a thinning effect. He's actually really fat. No, not really.
Man, I remember when he actually was like he wasn't fat, but like when he was like a chubbier version of this version in
Come on,
high
don't
school.
sugarcoat this shit, man. He was fat. Like, actually, no,
Was
you know
that
what?
was that fat
When did you
like
when did you see him first? That's a good place to start. Yeah, when did you first meet him? Was?
oh bro, look, obviously can't recall exact years and shit, but high school, man, just like whatever it was, like year 10 or whatever,
Yeah,
just like through obviously through you and then like Normus and whatever.
yeah.
But I do remember he wasn't fat compared to like we had some fat mates and like they were fatter than Fat John. So, put it
Yeah.
that way.
All
I was
right.
only I was only called Fat John because I was the fattest in the group, or one
Correct,
of the
correct.
fattest in the group. Some was fatter than me.
No, you are definitely, yeah, you are definitely
Nah,
not the fattest in the group.
yeah,
We're,
I
we're
was one
counting
of the
Song, yeah?
fattest in the group. Yeah, Some was the fattest in the group by far.
Yeah. And then we had Fat Joe, ironically, who was not fat either. But yeah, we had two people's nicknames with fat that weren't fat. But fat so it's the nickname is obviously stuck and we just call him Fat now. But when were you at your peak fatness?
Include the kilograms.
Probably 11 year 12. Was it like,
What?
yeah, I was
Really?
like 100 kilos.
In your
100,
11
yeah.
and 12?
Yeah,
Shit.
I think I stayed around that mark. Like from memory, it was probably 11 where I was the
That's big
biggest.
for a kid, right?
But
Because
I
you're a
was like,
kid.
I was always big though, like
Yeah.
tall.
Yeah, well, you're 11 and
So
12. You're kind of
How
at
tall are you, how tall are you, Fat?
I'm 186.
186, so about 184, I guess.
179, mate. 179.
Nah, you
Nah,
186. That's
yeah,
fucking
I'm like
massive.
same height as like the other boys, like Neil and all of them.
Yeah, shit, man. Fuck, I would love to be that tall, man.
Oh, well, yeah,
Anyway,
we'll just manjoke at 170, yeah, boss?
yeah, 170 on the dot.
Yeah, on the
I
dot.
think I'm 171
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, on a good day after a good sleep, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, just
Um,
go out horizontally to my dates.
yeah. All right, anyway, let's get into it. So, Fat, you've obviously kind of introed yourself somewhat, but let's, yeah, tell us a bit more about yourself, just in terms of, where you're from, where you're born.
Okay,
Um,
well,
let's start with that.
I was born in Korea, moved to Canberra when I was 2, and I've lived out of Korea since I was 2, but I've lived in a small island called Saipan, which is next to Guam. I lived in the States for like 4 or 5 years, and then
How old
came
are
back
you?
to, I think, well, so I moved to, I think, Saipan when I was around 6,
Hmm.
and then I think when I was about 8, I moved to the States, and I lived there till E5, and then came over.
Yeah, in
That's
LA,
crazy.
yeah?
So you're like
Yeah,
American.
in
You're actually American,
Torrance,
man.
LA.
Yeah, hey,
You're actually American.
yeah,
Like he's
you didn't have a green card, I guess.
No, 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 no. The reason why we came back to Australia was we had the choice of either giving up our PR
Yep,
because I had, I was in
Australian
Canberra
PR.
for a long time. Yeah, Australian PR.
Yeah,
And parents thought it'd be better for us to move back to Australia, so we did.
yeah, okay,
yeah,
fair
but
enough. So,
yeah, but imagine. Okay, so but you could move to like as in oh no, so you had to give up your PR, but you didn't have American green card or American
No, no, I
visas.
didn't have, I had the, like, because dad's work, we had the, whatever, the
Yeah.
working visa, so we could say that we had the choice of staying there longer.
mm,
Yeah, and giving it a
and
go.
giving it a go.
Longer or like kind of permanent?
We could have stayed
Yeah.
permanent if we stayed
Yeah,
there.
like give it a go. Like, yeah, you just munga there.
Yeah.
Via dad's work, we would have been able to get like a citizenship in the long run.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but parents decided that obviously because we were younger, we didn't have any say or input into it. But parents decided that it'd be better for us to go back to Australia, so we did.
Well, if you
Okay, just off golf, because I often wonder as Australian couples, because like we're like fucking bushidange to the maxes. We're just some like country bumpkin couples and shit. Do you ever feel like, because you know, sometimes I'm like, man, that decision that my parents made to come down to Sydney instead of like, you know, LA, because I've met heaps of LA couples and they're just like full American, right? Like, yo, LA, California, and like New York couples I've met in Korea and stuff, and they're full New York, right? Because I feel like if I just grew up in New York, LA, I would have been exactly like that. Do you ever feel fat like, oh shit, would have been good to go to the States and grow up there? I mean, you practically grew up there for a little bit.
I do. I did think about it a lot growing up when I was like probably in like high school, middle school days. But honestly, America's more dangerous. I feel like both me and my brother would have had more chances of going the wrong path if we were in America. Because like I guess like in America, like gangbanging is real. Like you guys are gonna be like when you're kids and you're like going out like partying and stuff, it's like it's more serious than we're ever gonna imagine. Even though there's like when we were growing up, there was like Chinese triads and stuff like that. But even then, like if we were in America, I feel like it would have been a lot more dangerous for us. We'd probably and me, I've always been an extreme extrovert, so I get along with like I had a lot of friends in America as well, but like I actually when I was in about year 10, I asked one of my close American friends that I kept in contact with. I was like, "What do you think I would have been like if I stayed in America?"
Mm.
And she said to me, "You'd either be fully into American football,
Oh
you'd be a
yeah.
stoner, or you'd be like in jail for doing like gang related stuff."
Okay.
And
Well, you
then
already tick
when
one
I
box here, though. Stoner party.
Took the words out of my mouth, mate. Achieved one of the three at least.
yeah, it's a mystery which one, but yeah, I did achieve one. Yeah, like but yeah, like I guess for my brother, I think it would have been better him staying in America because he was very academically smart. So he would have been like probably at Ivy League college or something like that. But for
Right.
me, I wasn't really academic. I guess though I would have maybe had more friends and probably went to a bigger church in America. But even then, so like I don't really regret it. But
Right. Hey, you
yeah,
might
like
have become a bloody millionaire running a massive car wash.
that's okay. Like the thing is, doing
Breaking Bad
businesses
style.
that actually I did. That is true. When we talk about businesses, like I think if I did a business in America, I would have been much more successful than all the
Exactly.
businesses that I did here.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
but yeah,
Yeah, because
look,
this country doesn't reward businesses. But anyway, we can talk about that
Yeah.
further. But like, yeah,
Just
man,
to
like
backtrack.
entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to backtrack on a pretty important point about your friend in the US. I noticed that you
mhm,
said it's a she. Is she
yeah,
hot?
she was 목사님 star. So
Okay. Go on.
Answer the
The question.
question.
yeah, like we were just good friends. Like I didn't have any like
You
attraction
fucking
to
answer
her
the
in that
question.
sort of way. So
Okay. Yeah,
We
she's
should,
not. She's not.
which
She's
part of
not.
the states is she from? No, you like, because yeah, California, higher chance, isn't
Boz
it?
is gonna let his imagination go wild.
I'm pretty sure like when we were growing up, we were in Cali, but like you can't really choose where you're gonna go if you get accepted into a uni that thinks so. I think she moved away from LA
Right. But
once she
yeah,
got into
but in
uni.
her essence, she's a Cali girl. All right. We get the picture.
Yeah, Calby, yeah.
So yeah, Fat he moved over. So me and Fat we
So,
met.
so no, so sorry, so wait,
Yeah,
sorry. Let's
go
just
on.
roadmap it. So, born in Korea, Seoul City, or
Yeah, 강남.
oh
차병원
shit,
압구정동.
Gangnam.
압구정동 차병원 right here.
Shit. Okay, this guy's upper middle class. Hey, he fucking grew up in Eastwood, mate. Upper middle class. Eastwood's upper middle
Unnecessary
class.
detail.
Hey,
And
G-Nam boy.
my dad's side family all live in Gangnam, like in
Oh
Apgujeong. So
shit. Shit. Gangnam Apgujeong boy. Shit. Like I'm from the Chegebar, but Gangnam Apgujeong boy, right? Um, and and then you moved to Saipan, which I just Googled, so it's near Guam. So man, that I think that's its own culture there. I think that's its
oh
own
dude,
culture there.
like if I was to talk about Saipan, my dad helped make a resort there, and it's like a five-star resort. So I lived, and he was the general manager there for while we were there. So I lived like a king. I felt like I had like 20, 30 servants. Well, they're hotel workers, but then there's a lot of, I think, Filipino or like Eastern, like Southeast Asian people working at the hotel, and like I could eat whatever I wanted, like go jet skiing every day. Like going to school, I remember our school was right in front of the beach, so on like recess and lunchtime, you could just go for a swim and then go back into
Shit.
class after. Like it was honestly the best. If I had to draw if I had to draw a timeline of my life, that was the best time of my life. Like
Oh,
Shit.
we could do anything ever.
hang on. But
Eh,
you were
eh,
there till you were six, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
early years. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
early
And then
years.
over to the US, lived in LA from about 6 to 11, 10-ish.
Actually, no, I was in Canberra till I was 6.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Let's retract this. When I was 2, I lived in Canberra for 4 years. So in 6, we moved to. When I was 6, I moved to Saipan,
that's
Yep.
why he
and then I was
remembers.
there
Yeah.
till
Yep.
I was there for like 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
And
And
then
that's
you
when
went to
like
the States for a couple of
yeah,
years,
for
and then you
like four
came here.
years or so, and then I
Yeah,
Right,
came.
right.
yeah, yeah. That's
Okay.
why he doesn't have an American accent, I guess.
Oh,
Whoa.
when I came, I had a mad
That,
American accent. People were
yeah.
teasing
Oh
me like crazy. Like
Yeah.
at
So
shit,
church, they'd be
that's
like, "Say potato."
our paths kind of converged at
okay.
some point
Fucking
when he
gold.
first comes to Australia. And he showed up to Epping Public School, which is a school that I was attending. And then you see this fat little kid with Yusungjun Mori. It's like Yusungjun, like with the fucking Goranji and
It
shit.
had one side fringe.
So
Yeah, West Side big time, man. Then he had like
West Side big time. Yeah.
biggest
Tupac and everything back
American
then.
fucking Gyopo Yangachi accent, and yeah, it was pretty annoying.
That's hectic. A side note there. See
Yeah.
how back then, like even like we all come from, and we're just straight up. We all come from like sort of different socio-economic backgrounds. But if you think about it, everyone just went to public school for primary. Then, dude, no one sends people to public primary schools anymore. It's insane. I'm like, because I'm pro-public, right? Because of the way we grew up, rich, poor, whatever. Primary school was public. That that's what I'm saying. Look at Jinan boy, public. Your middle, your upperish middle class as well. Then as public. Chegebal working class, public. Like we all just went to public school.
I think it's a bit different though because our parents, when they came here, they had to give up their upper middle class to come to this country. Whereas if we raise kids and we are upper middle class, we have the opportunity of sending them to a private school, and
True,
we
true.
have the know-how and everything like that. But like our parents, they're coming here, can't even speak a word of English properly, and imagine sending us to private schools and like going to meetings and stuff. They would have hated it even more. So I think there is a bit of a difference for that.
You know what? Fair call. Fair call. And like, because none of my wife's friends are sending their kids to public school. I'm gonna be the only one, basically.
Oh no, really? For primary, they're sending them to private schools?
No one's sending them to a public school, as far as I know, anyway.
Okay,
But
interesting.
For
if you look at
The Koreans, but that my for like my Aussie mates, it's all good. But my
Yeah,
Koreans, all private or Catholic minimum.
right. When it comes to primary, I wouldn't care if it's public or wherever, but high school, different story. But that's a
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
okay. So yeah, Fat and I met at school, and I have a pretty clear memory of not liking this guy. Initially, I was just thought he was
Why?
pretty.
Why? Do tell. I'm gonna get my cord.
Just
Go for it.
try hard, American accent, using the modi, like just yeah, annoying. And yeah, I don't think we really got along initially. I was like hanging out with a lot of the Aussie guys at the time, and then I don't know what. Do you remember like what kind of brought us close?
I'm pretty sure in the beginning years, I used to hang around more with like the band guys Because you
Band
weren't in a
drums.
band. You weren't in the band. I was in the band from youth. Like, I used to play the trumpet when I
Yep, yep,
was in America, and then when I came here, I was hanging around with like Jeff Evans, Jimmy,
yep.
uh, and then my main group, I guess, was me, Howard, Craven, and Andrew Lee.
Yep.
And then later on, like Yonje and all of them came along.
Okay, that was a bit
Oh,
later
so
on.
you weren't part of the OG. You weren't part of the OG normal group then. This
No,
is
no, no,
like
we're talking Epping
yeah.
Boys,
No,
mate.
this is primary school. Primary
Okay,
school.
Yeah, yeah,
primary, primary.
Epping Public,
Okay,
mate.
okay. Epping
Yeah,
public,
so
right?
this is like, yeah, I think Dennis was more of the sporty, like he would go and like play sports and stuff. But I came from America. I remember the first day of like sports day, we were playing AFL, and I tackled Will Tom, thinking I was a sick cunt playing AFL, and they were like, "That's you can't tackle him. That's a mark." And I was like, "Huh? What is this mark business? What are we even playing?"
Uh,
And then like I
oh
made the biggest
man.
fool out of myself because I was like, "Yeah, I tackled the biggest guy," and he was just like, "That was illegal. You can't do
Hey,
that in
hey,
this game."
Well,
what's your impression of Australia then? If you can remember, like you came here, like obviously 12-year or whatever. What was it like? Obviously, Dennis has his take.
Honestly,
What was it like?
LA and like Sydney were pretty, in a lot of ways, similar. Like you had to drive to get to places. The weather was pretty similar. Um, so yeah, for me, it was just like, and because I moved around so much, it was just like, okay, this is just getting to know a new place.
right.
But yeah, they're like, so I didn't think I had like any like deep impressions of what Australia was like. I think the only difference was like everything's a bit smaller in size
Mm,
compared to LA.
mm,
Like the shops are smaller,
yeah,
like the shopping centers are smaller, like the supermarkets are smaller. So it
yeah.
was just like a mini version of LA to me.
Right, right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, and then me and Fab we progressed to go to the same high school, Normanhurst Boys, and spend the next 6 years together, playing a lot of basketball, playing a lot of Dota, just the average sort of Asian, Korean Australian teenager life during that time. Fat was really into church. He was like the household name, as he said before. He was like really extrovert and made a lot of friends, and especially with girls, he was like the household 교회오빠 kind of known to all of Sydney. Would
Yeah,
you?
let's go into that. 교회오빠, the 교회오빠. Go into
Well, it
that.
just look honestly, it wasn't just girls. I happened to be the leader of the biggest Korean church, like the youth leader in the biggest Korean churches in Sydney. So like a lot of people would kind of like sell my name to go out, if that makes sense. They'd be like, "Oh, John's going there. It's gonna be a responsible place to be." And like I know a lot of kids kind of used that to like come out and like hang out and church stuff. Like we would like I remember for like World Cup and like all those events and stuff, we'd be like, "Yeah, John's going," and then the parents would be like, "Oh yeah, he's responsible. Let him go." And yeah, I was just very lucky to be like a leader of the churches, I guess. Like it's not like I could just be like, yeah, I'm the leader and rock up. I just got voted to be the leader in all the youth group stuff. So yeah, it was good. Like I did have a lot of people. I guess that's back in the day when like you would use a landline because we didn't have mobile phones. We had like BPs and stuff like that. But a lot of
Bippy. Yeah, Bippy?
yeah, I had a BP.
What the f How old
I
are
You
I
you?
didn't have a
did
BP?
I did have one, but more of a novelty.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
Yeah, I
yeah.
had,
had a
but
BP.
novelty, like year 7, like year 8 novelty. But then, like, it
I've
was more
never
for fun,
seen any of my friends own a Bippy.
not like back
Well,
in the day. I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
I only had one
just,
because like this
just
Hyung gave me one.
bloody,
Anyway,
all we had was Nokia with playing Snake and
yeah,
shit.
Nokia
no,
3210
we
was
used to
still the
BP. Like
OG.
people would message, like call me, and then their number would show up, and then I'd call them with the call them with the landline after they message the PP sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But and then I remember mum would always be like, "Get off the phone," because I was on the phone like 24/7 with church people. But a lot of girls would, a lot of 동생들 would call me with like relationship breakups and like heartbreaks and stuff like that, because I was like the 친한 오빠 that I guess was like a mentor to them. So they would call me with like relationship problems and like people like trying to matchmake through me and stuff like that. So there
Yeah.
was a
So
bit
so
of
the
that.
super friend zoned 교회오빠 that was fully connected. That was sort of like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
go.
yeah. I
Yeah, yeah.
I never really dated anyone throughout those years. It was just more like, yeah, like you said, like the 진짜 친한 교회 오빠 that was close with everyone. So
How many ex 동생s, 누나s, or ex 형s did you have?
Oh yeah, those bro, too many to count for Fat John, surely.
I had a 누나, I had Nay, and I think that was about it.
No, you had an ex 형 as well. I know.
Oh, Luke,
Yep.
yeah.
What about
So
동생s?
that I think three. I didn't have
Okay.
like 동생들. I
Yeah, even
think
if you,
by
yeah,
the time there was like that, I was getting to that age. I think that X stuff was already past.
out of fashion. Yeah.
So like, yeah, out of fashion. So like, like what is it like? My close 동생 there were like Jenny, people that I went to King's Kids with. So I used to do like short-term missions with a group called YM called King's Kids, and we'd go to like different countries, and that's where like remember Joey's sister
Yep.
and like all of us would like go to Russia, like Indonesia and places like that for like a month. So we had like a very tight group of Christian friends, and then that's where I guess there was a lot of 동생들 that I got close with that were female.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to
Yeah,
keep.
you know what? Like,
Go on.
yeah, you know what? Like, I was gonna say this era. So we're talking obviously like mid 2000s to like yeah, early 2000s to mid 2000s. Like, huge, as Fat John was saying, like huge career, like lifestyle and stuff. I don't think that exists anymore because just the natural rhythm of life these days, and a lot of kids just don't. They're not into that shit for one, and like different world, smartphones, Call of Duty, whatever. But yeah, that was massive back then. You're just not as glued to your phone, social media. You know what I mean? It was just like you had to go out and do shit, and one of the avenues would be that QS shit, which is good. Like you actually spending your time somewhat in a productive, progressive way, I suppose.
A very social way, I suppose. And maybe even before COVID, that career-oriented life might have might have started dwindling. But definitely when we were in high school, like, of me and Boz obviously met at Songdang. There was Sesun, there was Sunbogum, like 중앙교회, like these like big 교회s and social circles that kind of orbited around the 교회s, and then those groups would like meet each other when we setting up like meetings through ICQ or MSN or whatever. Like, we're meeting, people in blocks. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember like so PH once said in an interview because I think he's around that age, probably a bit younger. So he's from New York, and he was saying, yeah, it was just like two groups for like Asians, Koreans, especially church guys, like church peeps, and then like gang, as Fat Joe just mentioned, real gang bangers and shit, like Queensbridge, New York, and shit. I was like, oh, damn. Like
Yeah.
yeah, but here it's well, here like I feel like this that shit does happen for us in terms of not like obviously hardcore like the States, but like Western suburbs. It's like shit's going on right now. Like if you want to head down
Yeah,
that
there was a
path,
shooting at Para
yeah,
like
yeah,
2
yeah,
weeks ago and
yeah,
shit.
Apparently, a
yeah,
couple
no,
of
no,
days ago, right?
yeah, yeah, like that's what I'm saying.
Machete
Like
in Melbourne.
yeah, yeah, no,
Well,
no. If you want to seek that shit in Australia, you can for
yeah.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
Fad, you kind of talked about it before a little bit, but do you have friends still over in the US that went down the wrong sort of pathway and, had tragic endings? Or,
Not that I have any contact with.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't hear any like tragedies or anything like that about friends that I grew up with.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's like
like
on
even that old friend that I was talking about, we lost contact like at the end of high school, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah.
Do you have any recollections, or do you see any major differences between Hoju Gilpos and American Gilpos?
Like even my own circle of friends in America at school, there was like I was close to a African American guy and a Hispanic, and both of their brothers were like actual gangsters. So I was like growing up, I'd be like you don't see that really here, like where like you meet an African American guy and he's like yeah like walking around, his brother's got like a machine gun or something in his pocket or something like that. So I think it's like a very big difference in that sense of how serious the danger that they go through is. And also, I remember in primary school we had to have a lockdown because they found a magazine clip of a machine gun on the field.
Fuck.
So like stuff like that is never gonna happen in this country. So
Yeah, yeah, the
like
guns, especially the
seriousness is
guns.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This
Guns
was
for
at a,
sure.
this is like an elementary school, like what when I was in like year 4 or something like that. And they literally locked down the whole school, wouldn't let anyone go out, and then the police had to come pick up the magazine, take it away, and then we could go out after. So
Hmm.
that is like a memory of wow, this place is pretty serious. And that's when like Walmart didn't really sell guns or something inside, but now like I heard Walmart has like guns inside. You can buy guns at like every store and stuff. So
Hmm.
it's probably a lot worse than it is. It was probably a lot worse now than it was before.
Yeah, do you know if your parents consciously made that decision to go to like the Eastwood area, knowing that, it is some form of, safer side of Sydney? Do you know by any
Nah,
chance?
nah. Like my
Okay.
parents, honestly, when we first came to Sydney, we were living in Epping, and like I think my dad just kind of looks for the places that are close to like a Korean centralized place. And Epping happened to have a lot of Koreans close to the church that we were going to go to, which was Hesun. So, like, I don't think he was like, well, he never told me that he was like, we're living in this place because it's safe and stuff like that. But like, he does look for, I think he has a sort of understanding that where the Koreans are is a decent place to live. Like,
Hmm.
it'll be safe and stuff like that. So maybe in
Hmm.
that sense, a bit. But yeah,
Hmm.
we went to a place that was closely surrounded by Koreans.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, because as in by the time you came, obviously I grew up here compared to you two, but like we've mentioned in other podcasts before, like obviously it wasn't intended, but when I grew up in that Campsie area, the whole Canterbury Bankstown line, um, obviously it was so like hardcore back then, but I was a kid. But like I do remember like all the Koreans there, they're the OG Koreans, right? All the like working class Koreans like my dad and whatever. But like all the people that 성공 there, like they moved to like Carlingford and Epping and shit, because
Yeah.
that's where all the like safer Koreans were. And I remember that like my friend, one of my best friends at the time, yeah, he moved to Carlingford because like they got successful and stuff, and they moved there. So all the successful Koreans started moving to the Epping Carlingford area. Probably because that's where the schools were too, but obviously I
Hmm.
didn't know that at the time. That's why you still got the OG. Kamsi's completely gone Chinese at the moment, but like you still got OG Koreans in Kamsi who are like the old, like my parents, but stayed there. And then like
Mm,
Belmore as well. Belmore, you still got all the OG Koreans, and then you got the Harabajas harmonies and stuff. But that's like the true first OG Korean immigration, I think, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
we branched
Absolutely.
out. Yeah,
And the immigrants, well, the Korean immigrants came here in waves. So the initial one was, during that time, and well, and especially after Vietnam War, a lot of people sort of flooded in and, based themselves around Campsie. And then the second wave was like kind of in the 90s when people kind of generally came with more money on business visas or, things
correct.
like that. And then they started settling around Eastwood. So, yeah.
Correct. And then now it's more upgraded. Then they moved to Pimble and stuff. Now then you got the real snobby Koreans in Pimble who are like, oh, you still
yeah,
there?
they're like in like yeah,
아직도
St. Ives, Linfield, and stuff like that, right?
yeah, yeah, they're like, 아직도 S마트가? 나 못
I
가,
I
거기 나
don't know
못
many of
가.
them, but okay. All right. Anyway, so anything you want to talk about with high school? I guess yeah, we had
Actually,
like
what thinking about it, the one of the things that brought us close between primary school was StarCraft.
Oh yeah, yeah. We used
Oh,
to
We
play a
we
lot.
OG
we,
Of
we,
StarCraft.
we used to we
You
used to
guys are
like
both good.
you and me would like call each other at like 10 o'clock at night, hook up our modems and play StarCraft and stuff like that
Look up our
in
modems.
like year 5 and year 6.
That's
Yeah,
so gay.
56K dial-up, mine, right? And then like, and then
Yeah,
like you
and
can't
then
use the phones and
someone
shit.
calls, and then you get disconnected. It's,
So you had to
All
pull
right,
out your
let's
phone line so you never get disconnected.
settle the debate. Quick StarCraft talk. Okay, so what's your races? What's your best race, Fat?
Mine's probably it was Zerg, but these days I play Protoss.
No,
I
like
play
OG.
StarCraft here and there right now.
Okay, I
Zerg,
know.
Zerg,
OG
Zerg,
in your prime, Zerg.
Zerg,
Okay,
Zerg,
and
Zerg.
Dennis, I believe, is the same,
random,
right? Yeah, I
right?
know you played random. Yeah, fuck off. I know you play random, but Zerg was your strongest. Is that a fair call?
Definitely not toss. So it's between Zerga and Terran. Yeah.
Okay, so let's settle it. Who
Dennis
like?
was better than me at StarCraft.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay,
He
that
was
was a
always
quick
better. He
settle.
was always better than me at StarCraft.
Settled right
Okay,
there, mate.
okay. Settled.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
But then
I
we
never
go
seen
into
you
the
yield.
when we
I
go
never
into
seen you yield
different
that
games
quick.
as we got older, Dennis was horrible at every game that we played.
I was
Yeah,
better than
StarCraft
him
was
at
his.
Dota. Dota was the
Oh
other.
Nah.
yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah,
Dennis, come on.
Yeah, no, no, no.
Dennis,
Come
you
on.
were never
Fuck
better
no.
than me at Dota, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
No, no.
definitely.
Okay. Who's the
Fat is
OG?
a gamer through and through. Like
Yeah.
he's a gamer.
Who's the OG Dota Kings? You got Fat John, you got Song. All right, different play styles, I gotta
Yeah,
say.
definitely Song. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
Song's more
Really?
of a team.
Really? You still think that song's
Song's
better than me?
So
Song's a
yeah,
better team player than you, Fat. You might be a better carry,
Yeah, yeah,
but he's a
actually,
better
yeah.
team
I was,
player.
but
Is that a fair call?
I played
Song is
competitively
LeBron.
as a
Song
carry.
is
So
LeBron. Fat is
Mm.
Kobe. Okay, done.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I
Because
played
Fat likes
competitively as a carry in like
carry heroes.
clans and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
Yeah. Who's your
agility,
favorite
any
carry hero? Who's your favorite carry hero?
back in the day it was probably Drow or
Fucking
Stealth
Drow
Assassin.
this Yeah, I
Drow or
remember
Stealth
you,
Assassin.
dude. I remember you fucking smashing people with Drow. It's so disgusting because you would like absolutely not participate in the game at all,
Just
Okay,
and then
just
you'd be like,
give me
the woods
15 minutes
like
and I'll
you're just
destroy
like,
everyone later.
and then just do the wind walking around, and then just pop out with the fucking that arrow.
Yeah,
He'll be
frost
like,
arrow,
Run
he'll be
away.
like, I'm farming butterfly or some shit, and you just like not. It's funny how like some gamers like that. Like some gamers love just like being in all of it. Some gamers love to just come in at the end and like do that shit. It's good. It's like different styles of
It's
gaming. But
chat.
I remember when I lived with Song, and then like would be playing on fucking old school board Aussies, right? Remember that, boys? Board Aussies, and then
That's
like
the best.
he would be raging at Fat John, and then like he'll give me a lecture, like because you know obviously I'm a noob in Dota, and then like he'd give me a lecture on like why you shouldn't play like Fat John.
Oh, dude.
Good times,
The,
good
the
times.
reason why I ended up playing like that as well was because my like was it Sunny Kelvin? Kelvin is probably one of the best supports you could ever have in the game of Dota. And he would just be like, look, I'll support you for 15 minutes. You can do whatever you want, get every single creep, like farm as hard as you can. And if you let John farm to a certain level, we're never gonna lose a game.
Mm,
There's no one that can out farm John in 15 minutes.
mm,
That was his rule.
mm.
So like when we played competitively with the guys, they
Mm.
would just be like, let John be. Just
Mm.
give him 15 minutes and he will destroy anyone. And we never lost. We never lost. We had like
Yeah, no, that's
challenges
great
all
if you
throughout
have
Eastern
the
and stuff like that.
players to support that. But when you're playing with like noobs, you got to be a bit more agile and do different shit that rather
But the
than.
thing,
So where were we? Dota.
OG Dota King.
okay,
So Fat
we were
Yeah,
John.
talking
yeah. So
about why I play like that pretty much.
Mm.
But the thing is, I gave all my friends a chance to improve at the game, and they were just all so bad.
Fuck.
And the thing is, the thing that made it so hard for me was they would always put me with the worst guy, because like
To
in my head,
balance, yeah.
cause they like I was the best anyway, and they'd be like, okay, they always put me with
You
like
were not
Henry
the
or.
best. Song was better
Well, in
than
my
you.
head, I was the best, but then you guys would always put me with 10th, no matter
No,
what.
no, no, that's not true. That's not true.
And then
Everyone knew Song was better than you. Like everyone knew that,
for
except for
me,
yourself.
it's oh, that's what you think, anyways. Because I know for a fact that the people that played competitive Dota with me were like some
Don't
could never
fucking
join a
stop.
competitive team.
Shut up
Either
about
way,
people that you
either
play
way.
competitively with. We're just talking about fucking 5-on-5 normos. We studied at Macquarie Uni, and the library closes, and the 10 of us go to PC and we're playing.
But the thing is, Song was never there for like three quarters of
Whatever.
those
Well,
sessions.
like anyway, Song was better than you because he could actually team play, and there were so many.
Look, okay,
Oh,
I would try to team play with these guys, and you give them simple instructions, but those simple instructions are like way too far for them to comprehend. So I ended up just saying, look, the only way I can win games is for me to carry the whole game by myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I kept playing in that type of style as well.
Yeah,
sure.
that's actually exactly how I remember it. Like, basically, that's the frustration equals
Yeah,
now. You know what?
when you have Vinny and Henry on your team, it's impossible to win unless I like
Hey,
literally
Song could do
get
it.
all the
Song
kills
could
in the
do
game.
it. Hey, Song could do it, and that is the difference between you and Song. Song
No,
could do
no,
it. Yeah.
never.
that
Anyway,
doesn't mean you're a better player. But anyway, not defending Fat, but I'm saying that doesn't mean you're a better player. But anyway, I was gonna say funny story. Well, not funny story, like funny-ish vibe was. I remember the odd time I would join you guys. Obviously, I'm newbie in Dota, so I admit that even with my CVs, because my it's just the way I play. They hate it because I just like getting boots of travel with every hero, no matter what.
To run away faster or
why?
something
Why?
like that.
Just so you can run away.
Yeah, because Dota reflects real personality, man. And then I'm just like, bro, gang, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. And then like, yeah, they were just like, fuck it. Definitely like, don't get put up. Like, dude, there would be some guys who would like not play like rank with me because because obviously they cared about like because when if shit was hardcore like the MMI and shit they'd be like nah Bozzy's coming we're playing casual like casual all good but we're not fucking playing rank unless he doesn't get boots of travel like because I'll get boots of
It's
travel
conditional. It's conditional.
yeah no, I'll have to get power treads like
Okay.
that yeah because like I would get like boots of travel for attack speed heroes. I'll be like, I still need boots of travel. They're like, yeah. Anyway, but the
Yeah.
funny thing is, when I go to the normal ones, like obviously, like because the cunts are raging at each other, but they don't want to fucking go too hard at me. But I
Yeah.
could tell they're fucking mad. Like, Fat John will be mad,
Yeah.
Henry will be mad, Vinny will be mad. But like,
But the thing is,
you know,
like, okay, to be
yeah,
fair, like half the guys don't have the right to be mad at you because they're just as bad.
I know, but they'll just be
That's
mad
the thing that
anyway.
pissed me off. And then
Oh, well, look who's the most man.
these guys made it like their duty to piss me off every time we played Dota,
It
knowing
was
this.
fucking so much fun. It
Yeah,
was
It's
so
exactly.
good
That's what I
stuff.
mean. They were using me to get entertainment out of them being horrible, and
because you
I
were
swear
like so easy
people would
to.
play worse on purpose just to piss me off.
Oh, fuck off. No, no, that's not true.
Now that's
That's
so
not
true.
true. No, no, we were just shit,
Yeah,
but that's all right. That's all right. No, and yeah,
that's good
those Dota
stuff.
days were really fun. Like, because we would take it so seriously, and yeah, like someone would rage, like just
Yeah.
beyond belief, and after every game, we come downstairs. Everyone used to smoke then, so yeah, everyone have a smoke, and then we're just like
Ah,
bagging
the
each other
Dari.
up. Oh, yep, and then
Yeah,
go back up and yeah, just play
yeah.
till like 3 a.m. and then the bakery next door, they've opened up
Yeah.
and they've
You
started
can
cooking
smell the
bread and it smells amazing and we feel like delinquents because like it's 3 a.m. and then yeah, we all go home and do it all
Yeah,
over.
it's funny how you like this is the thing about high school for us, our era, like the boys. Each group had its own area. But, you guys were doing that shit at Eastwood. We were doing that shit at Burwood and Campsie. It's so good, right? And then like, the boys, just like the competitiveness in a different way. Like obviously you guys are more competitive than me in that aspect. I get competitive with different things, but some people are very competitive with gaming, right? Like
Hmm.
like we had ours and
Oh,
like they
that
would
guy, this guy right
Me,
there.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
probably the most
Oh,
competitive gamer
you're
in
mad
stream.
competitive? Yeah, yeah. Some people like because Dennis, you're probably a bit less. You're probably like me when it comes to gaming, but
Don't give
you'd
a
be mad
fuck.
competitive in sport. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm not to the point I don't give a fuck, but I'm definitely want to have fun,
Hmm.
and like a loss isn't like
Hmm.
like it's not like losing like Brisbane Broncos losing like I'll just have a bad fucking week, right? But yeah, but like yeah, like some cunts were like heavily
Hmm.
like do not want to lose.
Hang on,
So that made it
did you
very
have people
interesting.
like that in your group?
Yeah, definitely,
Who
definitely,
are the
definitely.
competitive ones?
Besh doesn't like losing.
Yep, yep,
That's
yep,
number
Mesh.
one.
Yeah, I
yep,
Um,
could see Mesh.
yeah. Abdul. I don't know if you
yeah,
know
yeah,
him
yeah,
that. But Abs does not like to this day. He doesn't
yeah,
like losing when we play online.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I don't think Marco likes losing, but he doesn't like
Yeah.
lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
Hano
Yeah.
didn't like losing as
Oh,
well.
okay. Okay. So
So
you
like
took,
very similar. Hano and Fat John, very pride as well, like
yeah.
because they felt they were good at a certain game. But
Yeah.
Hano was shit at Dota though. That was the problem. So that's why he wouldn't play it because
Yeah.
he was shit at it.
Yeah.
So like he wouldn't play because he didn't like losing. You know what I mean?
Man.
But he
Yeah.
Counter Strike, he was very competitive in Counter Strike, and he thought he was really good. I mean, he was good. But like I think I remember in Build PC, like Wolski like fucking headshot him with a deagle and shit. Who's like, fuck off, this aimbot, bro. That's fucking bullshit.
Hey,
Like,
dude,
good old
if we
days.
had game streaming back then, and if we could stream some of the raging shit that
I know. How good.
we would have become pretty good famous. Yeah. No.
How
Dude,
good,
if
man.
honestly, if there was streaming and pro gaming when we were growing up, I would probably have gone down that path.
Yeah, like you would have dedicated it, eh? Dude,
Yeah.
Dota's massive. It's
Well,
one of the biggest
hey,
ones.
in terms of pro gaming, you definitely could have. Like, as in, if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
like I could have became a if there was a Dota 1 international tournament that paid $10 million,
Yeah.
I would have played Dota 1
Well,
with
yeah,
it.
no,
Just
if
train
only
all
you were
day.
so shit. Yeah.
All right,
If
Dennis.
only you were a team player. Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
listen.
This is
What's your
exactly
game of
what they would
choice?
do back in the day.
Yeah.
So,
What's your
Anyway,
game of choice, Fat? What's your game of choice then? What's your poison?
like, if I had a choice to become a pro gamer, that's
Okay,
actually
no.
Diablo was probably my biggest game.
Yeah, like what's your all-time game then? Yeah, what's the one game
it's a
that
hard
Probably
question.
Probably D2.
D2? Oh, that's mine too. That's
What?
mine
Dude,
too.
dude,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had characters full of every single item you could have in D2. I had
Bro,
like eight mule accounts, so each
bro,
account having all the characters full.
Fat John, I could do a whole another podcast of just D2 alone, but D2 was
Well,
my game as
D2
well.
was by far the
That
best
was
game.
I remember playing that game in year 8, Fat, and I was like, this game is fucking nuts. And I just
Why?
spent so much time. It's just so fun. It's a dopamine.
It's the best
The
game.
fucking
Like
the
What
it's
dopamine
the
treasure
it's the
hunt.
only game that I
Treasure
probably
hunting.
grounded like 12
Treasure
hours per day.
hunting.
Yeah, dude. Dude,
So
the dopamine,
is that
Fat,
like
the
when you
Stone of
find
Jordan dopamine is
Stone of
fucking
Jordan, you
insane.
find a
Yeah,
grandfather, you find any sort
yeah.
of like crazy item. Dude, the thing is, if I think about it now, I probably don't have the endurance to play Diablo again. I did play D4 like throughout COVID time
Fuck a D4
and
suck.
like a bit
Boo.
after, but like I remember just doing Mephisto runs for like 10 hours straight, like
It's the
consistently, and then
OG.
like getting after like 2-3 hours of Mephisto runs, you get bored, you open a cow level, and then just start killing cows for like 3 hours, and then go back to Mephisto, go back to killing cows, go back to Mephisto, and it was just a rotation of doing that day in day out for like probably like years, and like
Right, and then the resurrection was a little bit of a spike. I played that for a bit, I gotta say. But then yeah,
I
you just can't sustain it. You can't
for
sustain
me
it.
because I lost all my accounts. I
why?
don't remember my passwords.
Yeah, you forget, bro. I lost my
So
D2
Can
accounts
you
too.
retrieve it?
yeah, I don't know. Like I gave up.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I probably could have. I probably could if I. But the thing is, like, I don't have any of the emails that I used to use in like primary school and high school.
Yeah, the
yeah.
BattleNet ones. Yeah, neither.
Yeah.
Not like the old
So
one. Yeah.
like, and even then, back then, you didn't do it by an email. You'd sign in by an ID and a CD key, and
Mm.
those CDs are now
Old school.
long time gone. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's a
100%.
chance of me finding out what CD key I had for the game ID that I used to play, sort of thing.
What was your class of choice in D2 then?
I had
LOD.
every
Let's go. LOD.
I had
You're good
every
with it,
class.
man.
I had every class and items for every class. Like
Man, I love the OG fucking typical, but the OG fucking Blink, the first season starts.
Pixel.
OG Blink Sword Blizzard, yeah, fucking you could kill Mephisto naked with that. It's so good, like that build.
You need the Enigma and Hand of the Ancients.
Yeah,
That's all you need.
and then
Yeah, I'm
anyway.
surprised.
Yeah, don't want to go
especially
down the rabbit hole.
No. We're like, yeah, maybe for another episode, but I'm surprised for a hardcore gamer like Fat, because I know that Fat is more of a gamer than you are, Boz, that it's such an easy answer in terms of that question to what's like your favorite all-time game. For
It's an iconic game, mate.
yeah, no,
Dude,
For
but
action
like
RPG.
like if I was asked, what's my favorite like artist of all time, like or album, like it would be harder because there's so much to choose from. But for you to have like a clear one, like that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, but the thing about Diablo 2, Dennis, I'll just say this. You know, it's considered like as in the Michael Jordan of fucking action RPG. The thing is, no one's come close for so fucking long. One game has come close, Path of Exile 1, which is obviously the what people play now in terms of action
Yeah.
RPG. But for this long, 20
Mm.
years or whatever, no one's come within fucking daylight,
And
basically.
even
That's why it's the
PoE
GOAT.
1 has no chance of coming even near Diablo 2.
Yeah, I'm still OG D2 as well. Like
Right,
PA
right.
ones is fucking that's
But
it's
there's
just
so
too
many
much.
game genres as well, but right?
No, but I'm talking about
Nothing
action
came close.
RPGs in that
It's like,
in
look,
that
Dennis,
particular
like,
genre.
what's the best real-time strategy game in the world?
StarCraft.
Yeah.
StarCraft
What has
One.
come
Yeah.
close to StarCraft since StarCraft has been out for 20 years?
I don't know. I don't know. Age of
There,
Empires or
there's
something.
nothing. There's
Nothing, not
nothing.
RTS.
And that's
Yeah.
how good Blizzard was at making games for
Back
that
then.
category of game
Back
as well.
then. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking the Muppets now. They're
Yeah,
fucking
like
money hungry
even
bastards.
Blizzard Activision is trying to make D3, D4 like Diablo Immortal to try to compete on how well they did with D2
Mm.
and nowhere near as good.
Right, right. Okay. All right. Well, okay, so moving on from gaming, I suppose. Okay, it's actually
That got us started.
tough.
Now let's do marriage life.
We
Let's use the remaining time for marriage life because
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
you're
no,
newly
that's
married.
exactly what I was going to do.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
just jump straight or to the current time. You're obviously married, and yeah, I'm going to talk about that. We did before we press record. A couple of these married men were having a bit of a whinge. Do you want to share what that whinge was about, Boz?
No, 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 no. As in newlywed. So Fatjohn's been married for what, like under a year now, right? So yeah, give us your take.
How long's it been?
It's been a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's just I think when you get married, it's it's still two people that have never really like lived together for a long time. So there's a lot of like agreements that you have to make. You have to meet in the middle ground a lot. And I guess me being a quite loud, strong type of person, it's a bit stressing for her in a lot of senses. Like my wife is, uh, yeah, so she's like, I know I stress her out a lot at times, and
Give us an
because,
example.
well, like I got injured last year at work, so I'm still on work comp. I haven't been back to full-time work for like over a year, and like last month I got injured again, and in and amongst that, as you guys like, from my history, I've been very sick for like 15, 20 years of my life, suffering with like chronic pain, going in and out of hospitals and stuff like that, like on a regular basis. But I think like I had hopes that when I got married, that would blow over a lot quicker than it has. And honestly, recently I feel healed from the IBS. I haven't been to the hospital for like over 6 months or any sort of like episodes, but in that because I got work injury, I think she expects more out of me, like financially and like my career path, but because I'm kind of under work com, getting paid less than what I'm supposed to be getting paid right now because I'm not working as much and the insurance isn't going to pay out your full pay after a year-long injury, it becomes a bit harder for me to like sustain that sort of income level that I had before. So I think that's something that she's a bit worried about moving on because we're gonna have like we don't have kids yet, but we're gonna have kids. We plan on having kids in the next couple of years, and like at this state, it might be a bit hard to financially support the family with what I have.
Mm,
So I think she just wants me to, maybe find a new career path or do something different. So
mm,
that's something that we are a bit worried on about, but obviously we'll work through it.
mm. Was
That's marriage life, man. That's marriage life. It's just it's just mate, compromise, teamwork. I think kids are definitely like not saying and not forcing it down anyone's throat. But I always say, fuck, and best part for sure. That's just my opinion. I'm just being honest. Um, love it, fucking love it. And for me, it's like when athletes say like they're like we know when they win championship rings and stuff. Like we're talking like NBA championships and stuff. They're like this is the second best part of like this is the best this is the best feeling ever apart from having kids. Like, that's literally what they say. So it's that good. So I guess I just need to win NBA championship ring. Apart from that, feel you got the feeling, get that for me. So that's number one. But number two also is yeah, like I think definitely as being men, and this is where I'm like, y- like you know, being a man and all this stuff, like it's these days it's so pussy these days, right? Like everyone's like, oh, toxic masculinity stuff. Like I recognize what Fat John says. That's part of being a man, like being the forefront and then trying to be the, as you said, provider of the family, protector of the family and stuff. And I think that's great. I think it's good. It's like part of the marriage, and I'm sure you'll, get stronger and then like get grow as part of it for sure. And I think that's the thing that people don't realize sometimes. Like you know, m- women, you love them unconditionally, right? We're gonna love our wives no matter what, right? Even if they provided zero money, um, you know, decided not to do anything anymore or whatever. It's like unconditional. When it comes to men, that ain't the case. Like if you're not providing, if you're not protecting, then is the unconditional love's not there. That's what being a man is, I think, and that's part of the marriage life, which is good. And then yeah, it's like what Fatchan said, it's part of it, and like you all go for it. Like it's just part of it. Like I get pressured as well. A lot of my wife's circle of friends, they do very well. Like I feel like I'm in a really good income category, but they're fucking still above. And then it's just like the pressure's there definitely, but it's the way it is.
Very interesting point that you made about love being different between men and women, and for women it's conditional. Do you agree with that?
Yes, yes.
Like he does bring up some valid points. I know my wife's gonna see this later, but she's gonna
That's all
like
right. We're gonna edit this out. Don't worry. Well, we'll edit parts of it out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll edit in
no,
your
no, no,
favor.
no. I think like for males, like the love that you give to your wife doesn't really have to be outspoken or like we try to act more than we like speak about it and stuff like that. But I guess depending on what the female's love language is, like for me, my love language is physical touch. So like I feel like as long as we have like intimate times here and there, like I'm still a happy chappy guy. But I think for my wife, her love language is words of affirmation. And like she kind of gets upset with me when I'm like not saying like I love you on a daily basis or like because we got a dog, Kobe, like a little black toy poodle.
Oh, that's
She
an
like
awesome name. Sick name, man.
and she kind of comes to me and always goes, "I'm jealous of how you look at Kobe. Why don't you look at me in that sort of way?" So I feel like it's like for us, it's very love's very logical. It's like I still love you more than Kobe. Like it's just do I need to like imprint it and show you in other everyday life that I do love you more than Kobe? But for them, it's like they need to hear it. They're more emotionally driven than logically driven. So it's I guess that's another thing that you have to learn after you get married on how to meet the middle ground to keep your wife happy, to make sure they're at a certain level of feeling loved when like like I do love her to bits, and sometimes like especially with the things that have happened in my life in the last year or two, like I'm stressed out, so it's a bit hard to like just be like I love you when I'm like stressed out and looking unhappy and stuff like that. But she needs that in her life, so I'm learning to drop all the things that are worrying me or that I'm anxious about and just be able to say I do love you and like kind of show it in different ways. So I
Hmm.
think that's something that I'm learning these days.
Yeah, man. Every marriage, man, like all my mates, we all like, mate, we all go through different ebbs and flows, I reckon, for sure. For sure. Like that's one thing I realized as well, especially when we've got first married as well, the first year, definitely the most arguments and the most like riffraff and stuff, for sure, for sure. It just, as you said, lived years apart and stuff. So like, it's because my
Softening
wife
up
goes,
period, huh?
yeah, because my wife goes schizo when I don't put things back in the chejari and stuff, put it back into
Mm.
place. She just goes, absolutely sure you can. But like, I think she's eased down over the years because like, I just like, I've lived like that for, I'm not a slob, but if I just use like a sontopkaki, I might not put it back straight away. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
you're
for
the
her, it's
worst,
like,
mate. Put that shit back
yeah,
immediately, man. Fucking hell.
yeah, she just wants to put it back immediately. She's like, if you just do that, then we won't have to look for it and shit. Yeah, it makes sense, but it's just, you know what I mean? Like I'm watching the news and maybe I just want to put it back later or something, but I'll forget. Yeah. Anyway, shit like that gets
Yeah,
mad. Um,
that's a prime example of what we thought about a lot in the beginning. Like, can't you just hang up your clothes after you wear it, or like put it into the hamper? And I'm just like, can I do it after I do what I'm gonna do? Like,
that's
I
what I'm
want to do
saying.
it in my own time, and but they'll be like, but it's just sitting there. Can't you just do it now? And then we used to get like have like not real arguments, but I just be like, and then like she'd be like, oh, you like, why do you look so angry about it? Like, I'm just telling you to do this and stuff like that, and then it like blow up to a whole different.
I've got a similar example, not with my girlfriend, but it's with Juno who I live with. So so there's a next to the fridge there's a windowsill, right? And then he like leaves his cup there on the windowsill. And he doesn't know about it. Okay? So do you think you guys are obviously the culprits in your household? Do you prefer to be told about it or not? Because that's not where the cup should sit.
Well, the wives tell you about it. This is different because he's your roomie, but yeah,
Yeah.
like that's exactly the shit that my wife gets pissed off about. She's like, "What
I
the
do get
fuck?
pissed off
The
about it. I just
cup?"
don't fucking
She's like,
say anything.
"She's like, why is the cup fucking there?" That's exactly what happened.
Well, that's why you're not his wife. Like, if you're his wife, they
Exactly.
would tell you. They'd probably see it for one day. The next day, they'd be like, I gave you a day to put it away, and it's still sitting there. So you obviously aren't gonna put it away, and then that's why they tell you to put it
If
away.
I took a photo of it and sent it to you, how would you guys feel about it?
No, bro, that's cheesy, bro. It's just, dude, your mates just go like,
No,
bro.
no, 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 no. I'm,
uh,
I'm, I'm,
yeah.
I'm talking about it like if your wives did that, how, do you think that's a good way of resolving
Yeah,
it?
I think that would be a good way for my wife not
If it's a
to.
joke, if it's a joke, like if it's gonna be funny,
Okay, okay. So,
like
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Do
Not
you,
passive
well,
aggressive.
what's like the method for you guys? What's the preferred method for your wives to resolve this situation? Just chama and say nothing, or just fucking nag you about it? Or obviously not. You don't want that. So how do you, or just yeah, what do you want your wives to do?
Yeah, I don't know what you do, Fab, but I just tell my wife, can you like pick and choose a bit? Like if you're gonna say it, like if you're gonna nag like 24/7 about it, then it's just gonna be like shitty. But
Yeah,
if you
just
just
be
pick and
selective
choose a
about your
bit,
nagging.
yeah, be selective about your, yeah, just like like what did you say? Like refing a sports game, right? Just let the ones go, and then the ones you need to blow the penalty. All right, yeah, that you fucking travel. Like you took 10 steps. That's a fucking travel. You took a half a step, bro. Let him dunk, right? You know what I mean?
But boss, you've been married so much longer than I have. I reckon that in itself would bring up like a whole new avenue of getting in trouble.
Yeah, no, look, it's compromise definitely. And
No,
look,
no, you guys fell to the
I've
fucking
gotten better
trap. You
too.
guys fell to the trap. Like, as in, your answer should have been like about how you're gonna correct your behavior, not about fucking, focusing on your wife's, you know, conflict resolution.
Mate, mate, marriage is about compromise, goes both ways. But like I do definitely put more effort, like for sure. Like try to put things, try to be cleaner, try to help her out basically. It's compromise. So a lot of the time she doesn't like the way I do things too, because she's very neat, very clean, right? Which is good. House is immaculate. Love that. But so she wants to do laundry a certain way and stuff. So I'm just like, tell me how I can help you. So she'll be tell me exactly what she'll be like. I'll wash the baby's clothes. Like she'll be today's mission. Wash the baby's clothes and hang it. That's it. Very simple instructions. That's how I need
Yeah,
to I love sports analogies. If I was a coach, just tell me exactly what to do. Fucking run the ball
that's
at this
exactly what
person.
I said
Yeah.
to my wife as well. Like
Yeah.
instead of you, because a lot of the times, like she'd see things and she'd just do it, and then she'd be like, "I did all of this. What are you doing?" sort of thing. But I'm like, if you honestly gave me a list of the things to do, I'll make sure it's done after I'm doing what I need to do, and there won't be any issues. And she always says to me, like, whatever you do it really well. It's just you don't do it. And it's just like it's because honestly, a lot of the things like I'm not as neat and tidy as you are as a person. And for me, like I'll like I've done cleaning, I've done like washing, I've worked in a kitchen and stuff like that. So like I can clean to a certain standard very well, but it's just the times that you want it are much more frequent than I can imagine.
Mm.
So like that's where the compromise has to come in. So I always tell her, look, why don't you just make a list of the things that you want me to do today? Or I go to her and be like, what do you need done? And instead of saying, oh, nothing and being upset about it, why don't you just tell me, I want this done, I want this done, I want this done? Then I'd be like, okay, by the end of the day, I'll do all of it.
Sure,
Okay.
try that. I highly recommend that one thing. Sorry, Dennis. I highly recommend that fact because that's what we've tried. So we've been through shit too. I remember, and this I'll tell you now. There was when one was my first kid, my son. We had very different methods. You know, when he was growing up 0 to 1. Long story short, I was more like the tough guy, and she was more the softie. And then at one day, she just sat me down, like when he was about 7 months old, and then she was like, it's not it's not working in terms of like this parenting where it's not working for me. I'm really, really tired, and I need some help from you that's gonna like work for us. I was like, sweet, let's talk it out. And then she told me what she needed, and I was like, sweet, let's do that. Anyway, since then we've really gotten better and better, and this is one of the methods I use. Okay, when I work from home, I tell her, give me the mission list, give me the list, give me the check
Mm,
boxes. What is it exactly? So today's one was do our washing, hang it up, and then get the dishes out of the dishwasher and put them in the cupboards. Sweet. Do it before close of business. Done. All right. That's what
Close
I
of
want, man.
business.
Yeah, mate. But yeah,
no,
mate.
Uh,
like
And just
that. Honestly,
fucking that's it.
that's the compromise that me
hey,
and my
hey,
wife
hey,
went
hey,
through
hey.
as well. Just
Do
make a
do
list.
they not be like 이런 것까지 내가 얘기해줘야 돼? Like, am I
Yeah,
raising a fucking kid? Like,
근데 but
yeah,
like
but
너도
알아서 하면
결혼하면
안
네가
돼?
느낄 거야. 너도
yeah,
결혼하면 느낄 건데 like
100%.
like you're two different people and you have
Mm,
two different standards, right?
mm.
So
Yes, yes, yes. No, 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 no. I know. I agree. I agree.
like if she wants the house cleaned every single day and you're the type of person that used to clean your house once a week,
Mm.
you're gonna have to come to some sort of middle ground so that she's not cleaning the house 6 days a week and you're doing it once a week.
Yep, yep, yep,
100%.
yep, yep. Agree.
100%.
Agree.
And
No,
like
I'm
for
saying,
her to be cleaning the house 6 times a week and you doing once a week, she's gonna rip your throat out by the end of it.
100%. It's not
yeah, no. So I'm
sustainable.
saying,
Yeah.
yeah, there needs to be that communication for you to eventually reach that compromise, right? Yeah. No, no. Understood. Understood.
100%, 100%. And then you throw a kid in the mix, and then it adds to all the variables and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, and some you just both have to boogie hair, like you gotta give leeway. So it's like kind of compromise over time. Okay, I understand she needs certain things done every day. Sweet, this I'll do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm
some
sure
things
it
she
works.
lets go.
I'm sure it works the other way around too. Like it's vice versa. You know, we've spoken about cases where your wives have the higher standard or different expectation, but I'm sure it works in the opposite direction as well, right? On certain things.
Yeah,
Oh
Yes.
yeah, there's
100%,
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, in the last few minutes, just share your thoughts on this channel, HojuKimchi, because I think you would have watched most of it. And then have your final word on whatever you want to say, and then we'll wrap it up.
For me, like, look, Dennis has been like one of my closest friends growing up, and Boz, I know we met later, but Boz always, to me, like the times that we spent in Korea and stuff, he's always been like a fun guy to me. So like the conversations that you guys go through, I can really relate to because I'm pretty much a Korean couple, grew up in Australia. Like sports that we played were kind of similar. The games that we played were kind of similar, or like at least in the similar genre. So for me, it's very interesting, and I just think that you guys should keep it on a regular. I know you guys, there was like a few episodes that you guys couldn't upload and stuff like that. So maybe lower that. So, because I was watching it religiously, and then after the 2, 3 weeks break, I
Yeah,
haven't
you
really
can't have
watched
a
an
break.
episode since. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
I think
can't
you
have a
guys need
break.
to just consistently keep it going,
Mm.
and also maybe put some music, like intro music and stuff like that to your thing, and I think it'll probably help you add some more viewers. But yeah,
Yeah, who cares about copyright? We ain't making shit right now
no, but
anyway. So
you can
fucking
find like you can
smash
Fat,
it.
find
make one with
non-copyrighted
your
music.
Like
wife.
royalty free.
Make one with
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
wife.
royalty free.
You can
Or
make
just
us
find one on Spotify, or there's actual websites that you can use the website without any.
make one for us. Anyway, all right. What else you
Bro,
got?
my wife was saying like what is it? Like she really rates Fat John as a person as well, like in terms of impression. She was like, "Oh man, yeah, that guy's got good vibes." So, there you go, Fat, there you go. And she also
Thank you.
said your wife's mad pretty as well.
Hey, my wife really had good impression of you and your wife as well.
Yeah.
She's
I mean,
always
you're
like,
definitely punching above your weight, but you definitely punching above your weight there.
Hey, the
the
I
viewers
don't
will
funny
know.
thing is,
see in due time when she comes on eventually.
yeah,
Yeah.
you guys can see my wife later.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think you guys, it's good. It's really fun for me because like it's two of my mates I get to see on YouTube. So like keep it up, and like yeah, I have I enjoy the episodes. So just find some topics to keep going, and yeah, keep at it, and it's
Yeah,
really
it's
fun.
good fun. Yeah, it's good fun. Fucking good to see you're doing well, man, in freaking marriage life, brother. And hey, one thing though, if your love language is physical touch, mate, marriage ain't it, brother. I'm sorry to tell ya.
Oh, we're still in the
Nah,
newlywed
jokes.
stage, so it's all good for me.
Yeah,
But I
jokes,
know
all
later on
good.
as we go on, it's probably going to decrease a lot, especially when you have kids.
Mate, it's humans, mate. Humans, mate. We weren't, it's born to be with one person, but that's, unfortunately, you've raised a family. It's the way it is.
It's true.
Both ways. I'm talking both ways. Yeah.
But yeah, I still love it a bit, and yeah, I'm still happy with where I am. So
Yeah,
Good
it's good
stuff.
so
stuff, man. I
keep at it.
always say it's like living with your best friend that you can cuddle with, like best friend of your opposite sex that you can cuddle with. Yeah, that's the way I see it. Yeah,
Huddle. Wise
good
choice of
fun.
words. Yeah. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Well, Fat Man, thank you for coming on. I will endeavor to edit this as soon as possible so that you can, see it on YouTube. But yeah, we enjoyed chatting, and yeah, hope to come back another time, man.
Okay, thank you,
Good shit, fat. We'll
thank you
let
for
you
the
go.
invite,
Peace.
and very good to see you guys.
All right, recording stops now.